Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 10 Minutes with Kuhle. I'm your host, Kuhle Kwetu Maseko. Yep, the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special episode. Very special. So, in South Africa, we've got an issue where we've got celebrities, politicians, and various other public actors who are supporting this idea of communism, this false idea of pan-Africanism, which, by the way, does not exist in European nations. There's nothing like pan-Europeanism or pan-Asianism. In fact, the Indians hate the Pakistanis. Israel hates Palestine. It's normal to hate your neighbors. But when we have issues with our neighbors, not hate, we have issues with them, we are labeled xenophobes. When we speak about denouncing BEE, we are labeled coconuts, we are labeled wannabe white people, we are labeled a whole bunch of unsavory things. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you will note that myself and my colleague, or my good friend rather, Mike Sham, set out a video which was on Floyd Shivambu on State of the Nation podcast. Please do check it out. Link below. Now, the thing is, when we did the video, we had a couple of interesting comments. And perhaps I should go to those comments because it would only be fair to go to those comments and read them out for you, especially coming from some washed out celebrities. Celebrities that have been on shows like Unfollowed. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm talking about. So, you're going to hold for me. Please take a look. So, here I spoke of, here in Siki Mazwai, a very controversial wannabe celeb who, has been on the show Unfollowed, which is a show for all these celebs that have basically have their names through the mud, and they are just not wanted by the general public in general. So she wrote a comment yesterday which had to do with the lump in his throat after the Jews and Jesus comment when he didn't want to shock umlungu, which is a white person, your analyst. So in yesterday's show, I was basically comparing the Jews and Jesus, right? And mind you, I obviously don't have a problem with Jews being one, but I looked at it from the perspective of Jacob Zuma and the Zulu people. As in, one has got to look at that relationship, and I was saying that Zulu people could turn against Jacob Zuma. And I used the analogy of the Jews turning against Jesus. So there was really nothing sinister that I said there when it comes to that. But let's go to a second comment. Why does Kuhle pronounce black names like a white person? It's weird because some of us went to private schools in the early 90s and we were a minority, but we have managed to retain our African values, accents, and pronunciations. Is it not a sign of weak character to be brainwashed? So she claims to not insult me, but I mean, you're speaking about me being brainwashed. You are mentioning the fact that I speak like a white person, or I pronounce, not pronounce. I know Nsiki does not know the word. It's pronounce like a white person, which for me has got nothing to do with the conversation. In Nsiki, we've got 60%, close to 60% youth unemployment in South Africa. Close to 60% youth unemployment in South Africa. We've got BE, we've got red tape, we've got high crime, we've got mass murders, we've got rape, we've got farm murders. There is a possibility or so-called conversations of white genocide, which I'm not agreeing to, but it's there. We've got an ANC problem. We've got an MK problem. We've got an EFF problem. Mkhwanazi said we've got a problem with the black man. That's what Mkhwanazi said, the police commissioner of KZN. We've got parties like MK led by an impeached judge, Judge Hlophe. So, Nsiki, when I mention some of these things, which yes, do tend to be centered around black people, it does not mean I hate black people, it does not mean I am whitewashed or I am brainwashed or I have got some form of an issue with black people. No, I don't. I'm black. I'm happy to be black. I don't have an issue to be black. The only thing that I hate about being black is the fact that there's a BE policy which makes me seem very incompetent when it comes to my job. Now, let's keep things rolling. So, Insiki made a couple of comments. I think we can leave that for now. Let's get back to the conversation. And she's one of those celebs that do such. But there are many more celebs like her. Now, let me show you another conversation from Insiki earlier today, which was on Twitter. She took to Twitter. So I invited Insiki to a debate on State of the Nation because I said you've got interesting perspectives. And mind you, she says, after swearing at me on your Instagram, Upamben, which means are you mad? And she says, next time, don't burn a bridge you want to cross. You will never in your life interview me. I don't give a damn, Insiki. But nonetheless, what happened was I never swore at her on Instagram. You can actually read. So Insiki, for those that don't know, has got a couple of, she's got if I'm not mistaken, it was a video or comment or whatever, where she spoke about herself not bathing, to save water, something like that. And I basically asked her, while screenshotting her comments, I said, have you bathed in Zulu? That's all I said. I said, awume kancane, which means, can you just wait a little bit, And I said, ugezile, which means, have you bathed? I was just mocking her comment, actually. And I responded, I said, oh, please don't make yourself special with me. I've dealt with better material than yourself. I was just giving you the opportunity to advertise your stupidity, which I do still stand by. And I also didn't swear at you on IG. I simply asked if you have bathed, or maybe you don't understand English. Perhaps she doesn't. But she sent her mop here. Oh, and here is the screenshot, actually, so that you can see it for yourself. I said, dear Miss Nsiki Mazwai, awume kancane, like I said before, I forget ugezile, which was basically regarding her comments that she made on a whole separate issue. And I was just basically mocking those comments. Now, you need to understand, this issue goes deeper than this. But what I want to say is, we as capitalists, as well as free marketeers, we need to limit the amount of airtime and the voice that we give to these race-baiting, clout-chasing individuals, because that is not going to build a nation. Call me racist if you want to call me racist. Call me whatever you want to call me. But one thing that I will not support is the undermining of a particular race, the bashing of a particular race, the abuse on a particular race, the attack on a particular race, as well as not recognizing the injustices that happen upon a particular race. We are all South Africans at the end of the day. In Nsiki Mazwai, I'm including you here. As an older woman, to me, yes, I'm not that young. I know you think I'm young. I'm not that young, but more is expected of us in the Black community in Nsiki. More is. And we need to fix and correct our behaviors if we are to improve the living standards of Black people, but not just Black people, but South Africans in general. Stop the race baiting. Stop this thing of clever blacks or whatever. Just stop it. We've got a huge problem in front of ourselves. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 10 minutes with Kuhle. And if you liked this episode, please do like, share, subscribe, as well as join our channel membership. It's as cheap as 20 Rand. It really keeps the lights on. Till next time, bye.